The college basketball season opener is officially here, which means it's officially time to start tracking the next potential class of draft picks for the 2024 NBA Draft. Any of you who have been watching this channel for a while already know what's going on, but for those of you who are new here, I put out a mock draft once every single month throughout the entire season in order to continually monitor how the top prospects are performing and whether or not their stock is rising or falling all the way until the real thing happens. Basically, you can use this to get a general idea of who the names to watch are for the coming year and how things currently stand, and the order that the teams are picking in this video will be based on the current NBA standings, and I'll be going through the top 10 picks. Before we start though, it turns out a good amount of you watching right now aren't even subscribed to the channel, so if you enjoy the content, consider hitting the subscribe button, as not only does it help out a ton, but I'd also very much appreciate it. Now with that being said, let's begin. Starting off with the number 1 pick in the draft, the Memphis Grizzlies select Alexander Sarr from France. Sarr is playing for the Perth Wildcats in Australia this season, and his team faced off in exhibition matches against the G League Ignite a little while ago to show off a ton of the top talent in these games, and he completely blew me away in these outings. There are quite a few other players worthy of being in the conversation for the number 1 pick in this draft class, and I know I'm not in the majority for this pick with my opinion here, but I think Sarr is a truly special talent inside and will continue to show it throughout the year. He's a 7'1" center who can, without exaggeration, give you some of everything you need from the position. At 18 years old, he already has an outstanding understanding of how to operate the pick and roll. He's incredibly athletic with impressive instincts around the basket. His defensive awareness and the rotations that he makes cause havoc at the rim, blocking a ton of shots, and he even has shooting range out to the 3-point line. Next, with the second pick, the Washington Wizards select Ron Holland from G League Ignite. Holland is another player firmly in the conversation for the number 1 pick, and from what I've seen so far from him in the scrimmages, he's in for a big year in the G League. He's a 6'8" wing player who plays very aggressively as a scorer and can fill it up in a hurry. He's got impressive speed and explosiveness attacking the basket, he dominates in transition, his jumper has looked smooth and confident, and he even defends hard, which you don't always see from teenagers making the jump to this level. If he can continue to show that he can be a dominant shot creator throughout the year, then he's going to remain in the running at the very top. Up next, with the third pick, the Detroit Pistons select Matas Buzelis from G League Ignite. Buzelis is Holland's teammate this year, so while they'll be working together on the court, they'll also be battling each other for draft position. Buzelis marks the end of the tier of players in the conversation for the top pick at the moment, and his intrigue as a talent comes from how versatile he is already. He's a 6'11" wing player with competent ball handling and playmaking skills and a smooth shooting stroke. Where he needs to improve in order to surpass the players ahead of him is he needs to be more assertive, but another concern is obviously the fact that he is incredibly skinny and needs to prove that he can handle the physicality that comes at the next level. Next, with the 4th pick, the Chicago Bulls select Zachary Rissache from France. Rissache is probably the biggest boom or bust prospect as things currently stand, and there's a wide range of outcomes that do scare some scouts, but I personally think the upside with him is worth taking a swing on here. He's another skillful wing player with good size at 6'8", and on his team that he plays for in France, he's not necessarily utilized as a go-to option, but he's been showing that he can be a dangerous spot-up shooter and can attack closeouts and make plays when presented to him. His combination of offensive versatility and defensive tools will be very intriguing to scouts, but to stay in this range, he's going to have to continue to prove that he can make defenses pay from deep. Next, with the 5th pick, the Utah Jazz select Isaiah Collier from USC. Isaiah Collier was the top-ranked prospect in ESPN's rankings this year, and is the top collegiate prospect to watch for this season. USC has the potential to be a very fun team with him running the show, alongside Boogie Ellis and Bronny James, but if they want to make a deep run, Collier is going to have to be as good as advertised. He's a naturally gifted playmaker off the dribble who penetrates the paint and finishes at the rim often, and his court vision already looks good in the team scrimmages that he's played in, but his upside will come down to how well he can space the floor as a shooter and whether or not he can limit his turnovers. Next, with the 6th pick, the New York Knicks select Justin Edwards from Kentucky. Kentucky's recruiting class was absolutely stacked this year, and while Edwards should be the best prospect of the bunch, he's going to be sharing touches with a lot of high-usage scorers around him such as DJ Wagner, Rob Dillingham, and Aaron Bradshaw, so he may not have the usage that others in this range get. The good news is that he is a fantastic slasher and cutter without the ball in his hands, and when he gets near the cup, he's rising up to throw down one on your head, so he can still be an aggressive player in other ways, and as a two-way wing with that kind of athleticism, he's definitely going to be one to watch. Next, with the 7th pick, the Charlotte Hornets select Stephon Castle from UConn. Castle is a poised scorer at the shooting guard position who doesn't let his opponent throw him off his rhythm or speed him up. He plays at his own pace, he gets to his spots, he's very solid with his footwork on the drive to finish at the basket, and if his jumper can fall at a rate comparable to how it has been falling during Connecticut's preseason circuit overseas, then he's definitely going to be a top 10 selection. There are some concerns about his lack of elite speed regarding his ability to create separation, but he's crafty enough to overcome that. Up next, with the 8th pick, the Miami Heat select Tyrese Proctor from Duke. Proctor is going into his 2nd season at Duke now, and after a slow start to his freshman season last year, he really started to turn it on at the end, and is hoping that he can carry that momentum into a big year this season. Proctor is a floor general who has flashed a ton of playmaking talent already, and with more confidence this year, should be able to solidify himself in the lottery this season. His jumper was scorching hot in some recent preseason games that Duke played. He's got a knack for making the hustle plays and doing the little things that help a team win games, and despite not being the most explosive athlete, he's just a really smart player that tends to make the right play. Next, with the 9th pick, the Sacramento Kings select DJ Wagner from Kentucky. Wagner is more of a combo guard who plays in non-stop attack mode, and as a quick player with a dangerous first step, defenders need to be on high alert when he gets the ball. He can confidently score from all 3 levels, he has a nice intermediate game with a reliable pull-up jumper and floater in his arsenal, and while he is a naturally gifted scorer, he's been showing early on that he can make plays for those around him, as well dishing plenty of assists when the defense collapses on him. The concern with him as a prospect is the fact that he's slightly undersized, but his talent is definitely there. And finally, with the 10th pick in the draft, the Oklahoma City Thunder select Donovan Clingan from UConn. Clingan is teaming up with Stephon Castle this year, and he'll be holding things down inside as the starting center now after having come off the bench during their title run last season. In the limited minutes that he got during that run, he showed flashes of a potential beast of an interior defender and has been compared to Walker Kessler in the NBA for exactly that reason. He's a 7'2" big man with the strength to overpower weaker defenders, he's got soft touch around the basket, and his defensive impact is absolutely elite, altering shots and swatting weak layup attempts. And with that being said, that's all I have for you today. Make sure to like the video, subscribe to the channel, and comment down below which prospects you're excited about this season. Thanks for watching, and I'll see you all next time.